Hi, I'd like to talk to you today about the Nomad range of lures that we have here at Rockmax. They're really popular with our customers, and the range grows all the time, and I think the popularity of the lures is growing alongside that. As you can see, there's quite a good selection here in a wide range of colours, and I just want to talk to you about a few individual lures that have done really well for us. So the first lure I've got here to show you is the Dartwing. So the Dartwing is a topwater lure. It's very long, very streamlined. It will cast a long way easily. As you bring it back through the water, it kind of, so at rest it's going to be like that. And as soon as you start to pull it, it has a small popper head, but it is small, so it's not a lure designed to generate a whole load of commotion in the water, but more a kind of stealth lure that it looks like a fish that's injured fish right on the surface of the water that's trying to sort of scurry away from any predator. These will work well for all sorts of tropical species, but definitely worth a cast for bass in this country. So, and that's the sardine colour. This is one of the most popular colours for the Nomad lures that we sell. Moving on to this one with bass in mind, this is the smallest Madscad lure that we stock. As you can see, this one is a mackerel finish, and it's a really close copy mackerel. I think this is going to get eaten if you cast it into the sea where there's a shoal of hungry bass on the rampage. It's a slow sink lure. Again, cast brilliantly, cast a very long way, and it just needs to be worked back through the surface of the water. This one's they come rigged with these single hooks, but if you want to swap those for trebles, that's obviously no problem. But we find you get really good hook holds with the single hooks, and if you're going to release the fish, obviously. It's much better to release them from a single. You're going to do far less damage to the fish. This is a bigger version of the Madscad. This one's a new colour called White Glow. It comes with this kind of skeleton shape in the middle. Will actually glow in the dark. So this is a very good lure for using in deep water. This lure will actually sink quite fast. Again, it will cast a long way, and when you work it back by tapping the rod, by jerking the rod top, you're going to make the lure dart and flash in the water, something that's very attractive to predatory fish. This is a great all-round lure that any lure angler should have in their box, obviously in a size appropriate to the kind of fishing that they're doing, but great fish catchers. I mean, they even do well being towed behind a boat as a trolling lure. Obviously they can't take really high speeds, but up to 5 or 6 knots they work really well. They've got good action just from being towed through the water. Moving on, this is the famous Norris popper. This is a new size that we've just got in. This is the 150mm size. This complements the 120 and 180mm lures that we've had in stock for some years now and done extremely well with, and they're very popular. So this was the missing link really. This is the lure that sits in the middle of those two lures size wise, and this is a good size. This weighs 80 grams, so lots of travel spinning rods will cast this. So it's big enough to have presence in the water and create a good splash when you pop it, but not so big and heavy that you need the super heavy lure tackle to fish it correctly. This colour is called Calypso. This is as you see, it's a really vivid chartreuse green with yellow. So it's a really eye-catching colour. We try to stock the Nomad lures in a range of very natural-looking colours and some very extreme-looking colours. Obviously, if on a cloudy day, if the water's coloured, this is going to grab a lot of attention. Whereas you know, in a calmer sea, you maybe want to use a colour like the hollow ghost shad. That's this one here. As you can see, it's basically clear. It's got a silver stripe, so that doesn't have the same presence in the water as one of these really bright coloured lures. But having said that, there are some days where that's a much better tactic to use, something that's a little bit more stealthy. If you're going to be out in the open ocean casting at fish that are feeding on mackerel-sized fish, I mean, this has got to be a top lure to have in your box. This is the kind of closest copy mackerel that I've seen on any lure. It just looks sensational, and you know, it has a nice kind of sheen to it, just like a real mackerel. This is actually a Riptide lure, so this one at rest it will float on the surface. Then as soon as you start to wind it back, if you tap the rod top, it would do the classic walk the dog kind of action on its way back to you. I mean, this would be a big hit for you know, pelagic predators like tuna, wahoo, and any of those kind of open water species. Also, it's something I think a really big bass in this country might be interested in getting after and eating. Finally, this is the Nomad DTX Minnow. This lure was introduced by Nomad last year. It's available in 3 sizes. This is the 165, this is the middle size. There's also 140mm. The 140 comes with treble hooks rather than single hooks that the 2 larger lures have, and a monster 200mm lure. One of our customers has actually caught some porbeagle sharks on the 200mm lure, showing it round structure in the North Atlantic. It's quite unusual to catch sharks like that on lures. This lure it's built as a diving. It's not a casting lure. It's built as a diving lure to troll behind a boat. Our customers have had amazing success with these in the tropics. They're particularly effective on wahoo because it's a lure that can be trolled deep and also quite fast. So this can be trolled at up to 12 knots, and if it's rigged correctly, the larger version would get down to 40 feet. To achieve that, you need to rig it up on single strand wire. There's actually a video on the product page for this lure just explaining exactly how to do that. It's worth having a look at that if you're going to use these lures for that. As I say, very popular. Been really successful for a lot of customers, and you know, if you're going abroad and you're going to do some trolling for wahoo, I would definitely recommend having some of these in your tackle pack.